What's up everyone, this is FP6 bringing you another Timeless Cup practice video. In this video I'm going to be attempting to use the new and improved Drapion with Bite and Fell Stinger and Aqua Tail as the charge moves there. Now since this recent PvP update, they gave Drapion this new charge move Fell Stinger, which is a guaranteed attack buff. And if you pair that with the Bite fast move, Drapion can really do a bunch of damage. Now, if you look on PvPoke, Drapion is rated very high within the Timeless Cup. However, you really need to factor in the fact that you're not going to really be drawing any shields with your charge moves. So, as you will see in a lot of these matches, Drapion looks really good on paper, but in practice, at least when I'm using it, it does not perform as well as I would have hoped. Most of the time I end this situation in a shield disadvantage because I'm not able to draw any shields with my charge moves. But in some scenarios, I actually end up winning the matches where the opponent still has shields remaining. So that's where that just raw bite damage is pretty impressive. So I do have to commit a shield here against this Thunder Punch, but Drapion is a pretty good answer to Muck there. So go for the Fell Stinger here. I surprisingly get a shield. Most of the time, you really do not need to shield the Fell Stinger at all because it's not going to be doing very much damage. Even if it's super effective, like against a grass type, not going to be doing that much damage. But since this is Caddyshack's last Pokemon remaining, he does shield. And you can see one example there where Bite really did a number there to his team. These first couple matches are against my friend Caddyshack. He's a local player here in Colorado. This is pretty much right after the announcement got released that these new moves were in the game. I put a Drapion on my team in place of Milotic to see how it can perform. Because I was looking on PvPoke and it can beat some of these dragon types, and a lot of the matchups that I was already using Milotic for, Drapion can do the same thing. But as you will see, you almost never draw shields with your charge moves. Once people discover that Fell Stinger doesn't really do that much damage, and your only other option really is Aqua Tail. Since you're using Bite, you generate energy ridiculously slow. So all these things you really have to consider. But I do feel like, especially some tournaments this weekend, Drapion, there might be even more Drapions present in the tournaments, so we will have to see. I get my Fell Stinger through there. Just going straight for bite damage. I commit both shields here, but you can see I'm not even going to be able to draw a shield from this Celio. And Celio is actually a decent answer to Bite Drapion now because these body slams add up. And Drapion is not super tanky. I am able to take out that Celio, which is really good. Again, just going to go straight for the Fell Stinger here again to try to get my attack boosted up. I don't get a shield, but just that raw bite damage, I was able to take that Dragonair down to 50% health. Very interesting. But now, this Dragonair is most likely running Dragon Pulse, so it's going to be able to do a lot of damage. Surprisingly, I was able to feint it down there before he was able to get to a charge move. And now I have Venomoth here in the back. It can handle anything that Venusaur is going to throw at it. So I got very lucky with my team comp here. I do a couple of battles against Caddyshack, and then he realized that Bite Drapion was doing a lot of work to his team, so he ended up switching out Muck for Tyranitar. I believe in the 4th battle he does that. So be on the lookout for that. Tyranitar definitely is going to be a better answer to Bite Drapion with that smackdown damage. But other than that, Bite Drapion literally has good matchups against all 6 of those Pokemon if you're purely just looking at it on paper. Again, you have to factor in the fact that people are not going to be shielding your charge moves, so you have to totally rely on your fast move damage to help carry you through. This is a decent matchup for Venomoth. I'm totally okay with staying in here. And most of the time when I play this matchup, I charge up to the Silver Wind, but then I always go for the Poison Fang because most people are going to want to shield their Kingdra. I actually don't get a shield there, which is very interesting, but Kingdra is one of the Pokemon that got one of the new moves as well. You got Octazooka, which has a 50% chance to significantly decrease your opponent's attack stat. And because of that, Kingdra actually can win a lot more matchups now if you do get that debuff. It's a 50% chance, so hopefully the odds will be in your favor if you're using Kingdra, but it's kind of similar to Venomoth, where if you can get that boost off of Silverwind, it can be absolutely insane. I do have to commit shields here against this Celio. These body slams are going to add up. Now, if I want to utilize Drapion to its full potential, I need to get these Fell Stingers off to be able to get this bite damage through. So I commit both shields again at a huge shield deficit right now. But again, that bite damage does not care about shields at all. This is a pretty horrible situation for me now, though. I was not able to feint down that Celio, and it was able to take me out. I have a Dragonair in the back. And in this scenario, if Caddyshack even threw like an Aqua Tail, it would have put him at an advantage and he would have been able to take that one. But we're just trying stuff out. He's probably just trying to see how much damage certain charge moves would go. If they go through, how much damage they would do. But Bite Drapion definitely does not fit my play style at all. I hate being at a significant shield disadvantage. The only time I'm okay with doing that is when I have successfully farmed down a Pokemon, and then I know that the next Pokemon that comes in is going to have to shield my charge move, and Drapion just does not apply that pressure. Here's a matchup that on paper, Bite Drapion wins out. Same with Ice Fang Drapion. It would be interesting to see how Ice Fang would pair up with Fell Stinger, because I believe Ice Fang generates damage at a faster rate than Bite. And Ice Fang Drapion was already a good pick for this cup, so it might be interesting to see how those two things pair together. I didn't commit any shields to Bite Drapion there, which again, for a Drapion demonstration video was pretty stupid on my part, but I hated, the more I used Drapion, the more frustrated I was getting with how much of a shield disadvantage I was ending up with. Even though I'm able to take some of these matchups, it's very risky, I feel. But yeah, it'd be very interesting to see how Ice Fang would pair with Fell Stinger. There's that Tyranitar, which is a good answer to Bite Drapion, and the Smackdowns are going to be doing a good damage to Dragonair as well. Because I'm at such a shield disadvantage here, as you will see, these Aqua Tails are not going to be able to go through because he's going to be able to shield it up, and then his Smackdown damage is going to be enough to take me out. So not super good there. Again, these are not going to be the professional examples of how to use Bite Drapion. Definitely not. This was just me totally trying out stuff so you can see how some of these matchups work out. And you always need to be careful anytime you go on PvPoke and you run some sims, especially with these new charge moves that have a lot of status effects. You got to try this stuff out for yourself, because PvPoke does not always accurately reflect how the matchup is going to shape out. So do some practice battles. This is a really bad matchup for me. Got to get out of there. But this is where Bite Drapion is amazing, because I'm resisting that confusion and I'm able to farm up a lot of energy here. If this is a Silverwind, it'll do a good amount of damage, so I do have to shield that up. Just going straight for the Fell Stinger here. And again, people are going to catch on to this strategy pretty fast. You're just using Drapion purely for its fast move damage, and so they're going to learn that you don't need a shield Fell Stinger at all. You're going to end up in a disadvantage. So I do not shield there. I did not want to commit both shields. And now I should be able to bring in Lapras and farm out a good amount of energy. I do need to be careful about the Dragon Pulse though, definitely. I let this go through. It ends up being only an Aqua Tail, so he's trying to bait me there, and I correctly predicted it. He brings in his own Celio, so I switch in my Blaziken. These body slams definitely are going to do a good amount of damage to Blaziken. I'm going to let the first one go through. Most people are not running Water Pulse on their Celio, so you don't really have to worry about shielding that first charge move. Go for the Blaze Kick, which definitely would have been able to take out the Venomoth at that health, but it's able to confusion me down, which is not great at all. I go straight for the Surf here, either trying to get that last shield off or take out this Venomoth. I am able to take it out. And he's got Celio in the back, so in this situation, the only way I'm going to be able to come out with this victory is if I'm able to bait with Surf and correctly land a Skull Bash. So that is my thought process here. Let's see if I can pull it off. I do have to shield this Body Slam. Something also kind of interesting to note, subconsciously, if you see your opponent's shield, I feel like you are more likely to commit a shield. So I chose to commit a shield on that particular Body Slam because that was the instance where I was going to try to bait with Surf. So I tried to psychologically convince my opponent that he should shield that. I don't know if it actually works out, but I ended up taking out that match with that particular strategy. So maybe try it out. The mind games are pretty fun, and the more you're able to kind of get inside your opponent's head, you can really do some interesting maneuvers. These next couple matches are against my friend Lou Altinder. I believe these are the first matches we've ever done, so this is kind of cool, trying out Bite Drapion. Sudowoodo is a decent answer to Bite Drapion, so I just switched into my Victory Bell, but now this is really bad because Dragonair comes in and it's a pretty hard wall to Victory Bell. He only goes for the Aqua Tail, and I was really hoping I'd be able to get to the Acid Spray there, but that scenario seems to happen a lot to me. I'm literally like one frame away from getting the Acid Spray, but I'm not able to get to it. Victory Bell just takes a little bit, or Razor Leaf takes a little bit too long in the animation, I guess. But Bite Drapion is going to be a decent answer to this Dragonair here. Don't commit a shield here because I don't want to be at a huge disadvantage, but this is just, this is some not great gameplay here on my part. Sudowoodo is going to absolutely do a number on my Lapras. Even though we're equal shields and this Surf would be super effective, Sudowoodo is going to be hitting me for super effective with both its fast move counter and its charge move Rock Slide. So I am in an absolutely horrible situation here. Pretty much no way I'm going to be able to pull this one out. And you can see we're actually like running into a lot of CMP ties against Sudowoodo with its Rock Slide. I seem to be tying with it for my Surfs as well. Very interesting. I get the last shield here, but this Sudowoodo is going to win out the game. I have to go for Surf because I know the Rock Slide's coming. And there's no way, even as bulky and amazing as Lapras is, that I'm going to be able to win out this match. But let's see what was in the back. It was a Shelgon, so if I had a little bit more health in my Lapras, I would have been able to do a little bit more damage there, but definitely lose that. Yeah, if you check out his team, Bite Drapion is going to do pretty decent against almost everything on his team other than the Sudowoodo. And I believe, as you will see, Beedrill as well. The X Scissors are hitting Drapion for neutral, and so that definitely puts on a lot of shield pressure. We'll see how this matchup goes. On paper, it's a favorable one for Drapion, but Drapion is not very tanky at all, so you're going to have to shield in order to fully utilize this raw bite damage. Going straight for the Fell Stinger again. Honestly, if you want to run Drapion with this strategy, you could only have one charge move unlocked and be totally okay. We run into a significant amount of lag here, so I stop attacking and I'm going to let him catch up a little bit. I believe this actually goes on for a couple seconds here, and even in the previous match it was a little bit laggy too, and I got the short end of the stick. So I let him get some Dragon Breath in there, but then the bite takes it out. Already at a shield disadvantage here, but I am able to get to another Fell Stinger before the Celio is able to get to a Body Slam. So double boosted now in my bite, but again, I don't draw a shield, and on PV Poke, they run the simulations where you get the shields with the Fell Stinger, which is just not the case in reality. I ended up committing a shield there. I'm really hoping I survive this body slam to get a couple more bites in. I am able to do that. I get one more bite in, so not really that great at all. He's got 2 shields still. I'm hoping that my Razor Leaf can take out that Celio before it gets off a charge move, and it does. And he's got Beedrill in the back. Very bad for me. Just going straight for the Leaf Blades to try to draw some shields here. Even though Beedrill is going to be resisting this, Beedrill is not very tanky, and so even this Razor Leaf damage is really adding up. But at this point, the Beedrill has farmed up a decent amount. I'm hoping that my Dragon Breath damage is going to be able to take it out. And even if this is a Sludge Bomb, I think Dragonair would still survive. Yeah, I do survive, and I'm able to just win that purely based off of fast moves. So check out that scenario. That's something that maybe you can just run an entire fast move beatdown team with Drapion, Victory Bell, and Dragonair, and all those fast moves are doing so much damage. I actually ended up winning that, and the opponent still had 2 shields remaining. That's always kind of hilarious when that happens. So this is not a good matchup for Victory Bell at all. Even though Razor Leaf is such a strong move, it's going to be resisted. So I switch into my Lapras instead of Drapion, because this is an even more favorable scenario for me. I do need to correctly shield the Dragon Pulse. I commit a shield here, and it is the Dragon Pulse, so at this point, I should be able to... I should have committed to just Ice Sharding down that Dragonair there, because I don't think there'd be any way that it would be able to get to 2 Dragon Pulses. So kind of a misplay on my part, but I still have a lot of energy, and I'm going to be able to go straight for a Skull Bash here, which is really good. If this goes through, it'll be amazing, but even if it's shielded, I just want that defense boost, so I will be taking less damage from the body slams. It did end up going through, which is amazing. I'm still at a shield disadvantage, but the fact that that Skull Bash went through really helped me out a lot. Perfectly okay with letting this Celio dump its energy into my Lapras. I still have that Victory Bell, which is going to shred the Celio for sure. So I just bring it in. Let's see what he has in the back, if it's going to be weak to Victory Bell. This lag situation. Do you guys ever experience this in your matches where the opponent has like 1 Pokemon left, but you're just lagging? And look, I get definitely the short end of the lag stick there. That seems to happen pretty frequently to me, where we'll lag, and then when it comes back to real time, I have lost like a bunch of energy, and it happened again there. Super unfortunate. I'm on Wi-Fi, and as far as I know, my Wi-Fi is not that slow, but who knows? Going straight for the Fell Stinger here. Trying to get this bite damage boosted. I missed a bubble there. Professional gameplay for sure. These X-Scissors are doing neutral damage because of my Dark and Poison typing. I'm lagging again, and somehow I still end up taking that, but I was getting pretty frustrated there with the lag in that match. Not super good at all. I do have another video coming soon demonstrating some more Drapion matches, but let me know what you think about this new Bite Drapion strat. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.